Hello, I'm David Vujanic.
And I'm Specs Gonzalez.
And this is Stripped, brought to you by William Hill.
And this is a big show, a special show, where we have celebrity guests that come on and they take us back. Nostalgic, you call it, right?
I love nostalgia.
Of course, man. And we go through retro football kits. And they're going to talk about their lives.
That's right. Everybody remembers, their first kit, the one with their childhood hero on their back. And everybody remembers that moment that broke their heart, that one kit that just made them cry.
Now you've got me thinking about Arsenal versus Birmingham City League Cup final. Tears was stuck to my face. That hurt by it.
But today, we have a very, very special guest. And it's a friend of ours.
Of course.
You even know him from childhood.
He's almost my cousin.
Oh my God.
Almost.
Some stats here for you. Played football for 22 years, for 14 clubs, and scored over 230 goals.
Incredible.
It's the one, it's the only, Adebayo Akinfenwa!
I like the intro.
Legend.
I like the intro.
Just
Thank you, guys.
Energy bursting through the seams.
He's been like this since he was 4 years old.
Wait. How long have you guys actually known each other?
Specs and my younger bro went to college together. City of Islington, if I'm correct.
Yep, that's right.
Come on, G. So we're going on 20 plus years.
20 plus years,
20
man.
plus years now.
20 plus years.
Yeah, man, known him for a while. And that.
Of course.
He's big brother and that, you know what I'm saying? I got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Because, Specs was bigger than me back in the day. Of course.
I was big, man. I was big, yeah, I was big, man.
I refuse to believe
I was
that.
big, man. That's what I keep trying to tell people. I was big. Football shirts couldn't fit me back in the day.
Yeah, man. Busting out of that.
Just like a hanger.
Just a hanger, innit? I was telling Vuj, I was saying to him, I remember me and you guy, and when we used to go clubbing and stuff, and I used to DJ, of course. You and your brothers, the body popping.
Yeah.
They had it on Smash.
You're joking.
Look, you know the worst thing is, I don't know if it's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was, I think, 15, 16, like I was a choreographer. So, see, people don't know about that. And I told people,
Exclusive.
I used to teach contemporary dance. St. Mary's used to be like a...
Oh, legendary.
Yeah,
legendary.
St. Mary's used to be a youth club and a football team. And you know what I'm saying? I used to go down there, I used to play football, and then I used to work as a youth staff and teach and that. And I used to be able to, house party days. I used to throw down. What? It was that. It's like, ooh, I got your heart. I got your heart. I swallowed your heart. Oh, I threw it back at you.
Can we do one? Can we do it? Hold this hand. Hold
Here we go.
Who starts?
You start from that. Back. Oh, let it be. They don't know. I'm telling you, it's the good old days, because that's when, you know what I'm saying, when we used to settle beefs with dance-offs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be like, going to the club and the man names would be in there and then Spec would be like, ooh.
Yeah, I was a stir
about
up.
to set off. And I'd be like, what? They'd be like, just walked in. And then we'll look over and then it'd be like, ooh.
That's the warm-up.
Ooh. And that's how people just used to know. There should be a big circle and they'd be like, oh, you got circled. It's good. Good times, great memory.
I have so many questions right now. Like, what were you studying? Like, was it like O-level? Was it A-level? Like, did you go college and uni, or did you?
I went to college. I went to Wolverhampton Forest College. So them man all went City of Islington. And my story was, I thought I was going to be a professional at 16. So I told my mum, look, I'm going to be a professional at 16. So mum's like, look, either you sign or you go to work or you go to school. So there was no contract and I was only going to play football. So then I had to go to college. So I tried to go City of Islington. But you know them times you have to book early.
Early, yeah.
So by the time I went there, all the spaces was gone. And we had moved up to East London. So I ended up going to Wolverhampton Forest College, studying business studies. And full circle, I opened up a business when I had football, what I learned from business studies. And so sometimes listen to your mum. You know what I'm saying? Go to school and get a degree and get a course and listen to your mum.
But you did well overall.
Yeah. No, overall I did. To be fair, I got a first. So no, man. When I go to do stuff, I'll always say I try and be the best I can be.
We're gonna keep it old school. We're gonna take you back to where it all started. Because obviously this is Stripped Vuj.
That's it.
And we're talking about our football shirts growing up. But was it 89, 90? 89, 90?
Yeah.
Liverpool top. Do you remember that shirt?
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because I remember it for a few reasons. Like, I'm a Liverpool supporter. Everybody that knows my story or knows me knows I'm a real big red. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Liverpool supporter. And there was a few reasons why I supported Liverpool. One, my older brother was a Liverpool supporter. And then John Barnes was the reason why, for me, it was just, yo, this is my club. And once you get a club when you're a pup, you stick with your club. You know what I'm saying? And that season, it was the candy kit that I can remember, 89, 90. And you're going to love this because that was the season when we got pipped for the title by Arsenal. And you know the maddest thing is, right, Arsenal needed to come to Anfield and beat us by 2. Not only win, beat us by 2. And I was a pup at this time, you know what I'm saying? I was young, I must have been 8, 9, so I can remember this. And I remember them scoring 1 and still thinking, nah, man, come on, we're good. And don't quote me on this, you know what I'm saying, but I think it was John Barnes that actually lost the ball in the corner where he should have just, and then Arsenal broke and Michael Thomas, it was Michael Thomas, because I think we signed him the season afterwards. What we did, but that for me, that was that team, Young Moby, which they kind of said I was built like, Beardsley, John Barnes. So that for me is what just stands out. It stands out for a weird reason, just because we lost it on the last day to a team that had to beat us by 2. And because, of course, my man them's Arsenal supporters growing up. So yeah, that's the kit that stands out for me. I can remember, and I was like, oh, I want that kit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the kit. Don't get the game twisted. Mum and Pops was like, yo, you got the extra P for the kit.
You didn't get the kit?
I didn't get the kit. I just wanted the kit, so it sticks out for me.
Did you ever retrospectively get it as you got older?
Nah, you see, me, the
Did
one
you ever
thing
get
is
into that game?
Nah.
That's what I did.
Yeah, see, I'm not really that dude where, you know, the things I wanted from the past, like, I kind of went back to it. What I am was anything that I wanted from the past, in the moment I get. So growing up, I didn't really have trainers. So I always remember saying to myself, yo, listen, like, as you get older, you're going to be able to get yourself trainers. So now I've got a real good trainer collection. I always wanted jerseys. So now all the Liverpool kits of recent, like last 10 years now, sort of thing, I've been getting every year. So rather than going back, this is where I was like, this was the moment where I was like, yeah, you know what, I was able to start getting what I wanted to get rather than taking it all the way back. So I never ever got it. Plus, even though it was the first one I can remember, Arsenal still beat us in that league. So, you know what I'm saying?
Why didn't you just change teams? Because obviously you're from Islington, I'm from Islington.
Yeah.
Ian Wright as well.
That, you know what? If Ian Wright come, and I've said this, I've gone on record. If Ian Wright came earlier enough, he would have been the reason why I'd have been an Arsenal supporter. Like, I've got so much admiration. I think he's a legend, off and on the pitch. I loved everything he did. I'm not saying that I emulated my game on him, but I think his character and his lust for life and his lust for the game, and when he scored a goal, it was entertainment. I definitely knew I took that on board. But if he came earlier, like there could have been a chance that, you know what I'm saying, man would have been an Arsenal supporter. But I'm glad because, yeah, man, how much stress you man do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I stayed as a Liverpool man.
Ian should have come earlier, man. Imagine if you did, man.
That would have been a perfect marriage. But then again, Ian at Arsenal, it worked out. I mean, it was a beautiful story.
He's the man, he's the man. He's the man.
But how did you pick Liverpool? What was it like? Was it John Barnes? That was it?
John Barnes, like, of course, like, I think when you're younger, you generally emulate what's around you. So my older brother was the one who made me get into football. So he was a Liverpool supporter. And then because he was a Liverpool supporter, he was like, look, this is it. And then I remember watching John Barnes and I was just, and it's crazy because my game's nothing like him. Well, when I got into the professional game, it's nothing like him. But when I was younger, I used to love playing like him. I used to dribble, I used to drop my shoulder, I used to, everything, you know, he was techie. And the only thing I couldn't wear the shorts like them man wore it back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Them man really very low, very fitted, you know.
Boxers.
You know what I'm saying? Like, weren't really my bet, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, plus I always had big legs and that, so it weren't really conducive for how I wanted to look on the football pitch. But that was the reason, John Barnes and my brother.
Did you guys ever play together?
No, never. I was too big. Them days it was like, if you were my weight class, you can't play with me.
Yeah, he was. You know, he was an anonymous. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He was like an eclipse. You didn't see him all the time, but when you saw him, you knew. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them ones. You get me?
Do you remember the John Barnes goal against? Was it Brazil? Was it for England?
You know the maddest thing is, like,
I didn't even know he scored that.
What? The one where he beat every single player and then just, if it was a Brazilian that scored that goal, then man would have just said...
Yeah, I wasn't even born yet, bro.
Yeah,
What, he scored a Brazilian goal against Brazil?
Yeah, that's what he did.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, certified. And he was doing the madness from Watford anyway.
Mm.
Like, he was doing the madness from Watford. Then when Liverpool got him, it was just real. And he went, and that goal for England, man just said, nope, 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 nope. And they just put it in. It was like, if you ain't seen it, go check it on YouTube. Like, John Barnes is the real deal.
I love them ones, because you know when we play football sometimes and I have the ball?
Yeah,
someone tries to get off me.
Is that you move?
Use your body.
Yeah, use your...
It's the arm
it's
comes
the
in.
arm,
For me, from here, I'm like, whoo. Even when you did that, I felt the energy.
I still got it. I still got it, man.
Nah, you got the speed.
Yeah, I got the speed. I can play now.
Yeah?
I can play now.
Swear
yeah.
down.
I can play, yeah. We play together all the time.
How much? So I've got a team that plays Saturdays.
Yeah.
You know, I know. You know, you've retired now.
I've retired, yes.
You have had like one app for hashtags.
Yeah.
I play 8-a-side
Yes.
on Saturdays for an hour.
Okay.
Like a little 10 minutes from you.
All right, say nothing. You striker?
Yeah, I used to be goalkeeper.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you the goalie one. I knew you was a goalie.
I had enough.
Yeah, you want to be able to score the goals rather than the goals go in.
Also, you go in and then like the balls are coming at you quick and fast.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? They're
of
just.
course.
I had enough of the ball hitting me, and I noticed I should stop goalkeeping when I started turning away from the ball.
Them ones there, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I can't be 1-on-1, and I'm making my body smaller.
Smaller,
Like,
yeah.
And then sometimes I'm lanky, still hit my knee and shit.
them ones there, and it looks like you really
looks like
saved it. Oh, it's a great save. You're like, oh, I did?
Yeah,
I see that.
I should be doing that, but I started doing that, and I said, nah, I need to go up top.
So you trying to bring me to your team and
I'm
take
trying to.
and take your
Yeah,
position?
I'll come off, bro.
Swear down.
Yeah, I'll come
I
off.
thought you said you wanted speed.
Play you on a right back if you want.
So do you want speed or you want power? Bit.
We got both in.
We want power
Yeah,
now.
Oh, yeah, I think.
You sure?
I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah.
power's the way forward.
You sure?
That's what
Speed.
I'm
What would
saying.
it take? I'm just saying, Addy, what would it take?
I think we should have a conversation.
Okay.
Like, I think we should have a conversation afterwards.
Conversa-
A conversation. You know, we gotta have a conversation.
I mean, look, I've got loads of football kits, around 200.
Yeah, will they fit though? You know, I told you about the fit.
No, they
the
will.
fit's very important.
No, because you got double, triple XL tops, remember?
Don't, you know.
Nah.
Nah, just XO. What's your
I'm
size?
a double X, you know what I'm saying? But if I want to
double
go
X.
on, you know, flex a little bit, I can get into like an X and it'll look like
Sit there, look.
That
you know,
would be
you see-
tight, though.
It'll look tight, you know what I'm saying? And then you can see what I had for dinner and the handles. I'm retired now. You know,
right.
you know that was there.
It's
You
a
know, I know.
combo we'll have after.
Yeah.
Right, say that.
So you could have been a dancer,
Yes.
a footballer,
Yes.
and was bodybuilding ever a...
Nah, do you know what? I don't think I would have ever gone to the bodybuilding stage. You know what I'm saying? But like, I was a strong boy. Like, I'm still, to be fair, I'm still a strong boy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I would have ever gone to the bodybuilding because I like having a neck. You know what I'm saying?
I hear
That's
it. Yeah.
You know them
That's
ones.
that.
And the missus says I don't have a neck as it is.
No, you
and
do.
if I, you know what I'm
No, you
saying?
do, you
Like,
The
you know,
traps trap your
yeah,
neck.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that's
Before you
seen
know
my
it,
little
they're above
brother,
your ears.
Tele, you know what I'm saying?
of
When he's
course.
born, he had no neck. You know, I was like, where you going?
I'm going to be honest with you. They're all big. All the brothers are big.
Yeah. I've met his bros, yeah.
Of course, but I know why they're big. They're
Go on.
Nigerians.
Yes.
They're Nigerians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Food.
So, yeah, I'm half Nigerian. That's why I'm nearly there.
That's why he's nearly
I'm
there.
nearly there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Are you half Nigerian?
I'm half Nigerian. My dad's Nigerian. That's why 94 World Cup, my family thought Nigeria won the World Cup.
Oh.
The way Nigeria were going on. Do you remember that night, that shirt from 1994?
You know what you did there? I love the way you did that. Because that 94 World Cup, for me, stands out on a personal level. Like the funny thing is, the first World Cup I can remember is Italian 90.
Yeah.
That's what I can remember.
That Roberto Baggio, right?
Yeah, that was Scalacci.
Scalacci.
So Scalacci was the man. It was like, and I remember my dad dubbed it as like Elizic eyes, and as a culture thing, that's like somebody who don't look like they don't sleep, so their eyes are red. So every time I used to cry or something, he'd be like, Scalacci for the Elizic eyes. But I can remember his passion for scoring, and of course, we know about Gazza's shirt and that in the Italian 90. But the 94, the reason why it was so significant for me, bar the shirt, but it was the first time I remember my mum being engrossed in football. And and that was the first time that Niger was in the World Cup like that, and it being in America and Omakachi, Yakini, and it was just, for me, it just captured my household because I was always wanting to watch football. You know what I'm saying? As kids, and don't watch football. Do your books. But when the World Cup was on, it was a thing. Uncles came, aunties came, mum. That was the biggest thing for me, and it always sits in my heart because I can just remember mum being around there, and then the kit was dope, and it was so that 94, that Nigerian kit was always
beautiful. The away kit.
Yeah.
And that's the one we've picked out, that you've picked out. It is
it's something special, man.
Beauty, man. Look at the pattern on that.
It reminds me of like machine. I feel like I wear it with like iceberg and all that.
All right, brother, it's proper. You can put it with Air Force and roll out and a backwards cap. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about the word nostalgia, for me, that's nostalgia. That's just like, I'll always look at the kit, even the kit being something special. You're like, that's a badass kit. Do you know what I'm saying? But of course, with the memories that come with it, it just, for me, elevates it.
But there's something about Nigeria where the kits, this is from a neutral perspective.
They do it all the time.
I might be a little bit biased, I got a lot of Nigerian friends, but the kits, they just stay on this level of being par excellence. They're incredible.
They got that little je ne sais quoi. Come with my lingua in the No, but I'm with you, and especially like the last 3 kicks, but yeah, and that's the thing, you'll think it's only the last 3 kits, and then you look back to when they did it in 94.
The Olympic one as well.
They just, and that's what it is, and I think there's a fusion between fashion and not to the point where, you know what I'm saying, it's too much. I think they literally just get it just right. You know what I'm saying? Fashion and knowing that it's still a sporting event. So, yeah, man, it's dope, man. Salute.
Who was your player from that Nigerian team?
It had to be. Well, listen, there was a Kocha, Finidi George, Yekini, because he had a bald head and he was big. But I just think Omakachi at the time, like, you know what I'm saying? I think Everton bought him off the back of that. And I remember the goal he scored and he came in on his left foot. And I'm trying to think if it was Yekini or Omakachi. I think it was Omakachi when he scored and he was in the net and he was just screaming. So I would say Omakachi, he was big, he was a tank. So he resembled me.
For us a bit younger people, I was only 2 years old now.
Don't do that! Oh,
Civil War, Yugoslavia. No! Things weren't very good for me.
Jeez, say none.
You know, we came here, 98. That's the first one I remember.
98.
Was there anyone maybe post 96, 98, 2000s? Nigeria still had some amazing players.
Yeah.
Maybe from that generation that you were a really big fan of.
After Omakachi, it has to be.
Because for me, it was
It
was Taribo West.
Taribo.
I love Taribo West.
Taribo was, bruv, he didn't play. He took everything, grass, ball, man. Hey, jeez. I ain't gonna lie, I want to smoke with him. I was like, ooh, bruv, you know what I'm saying? But Okocha, for me, Okocha was the dude. Like, he was the real, you know what they say, he was so good, they named him twice, you know? It was that bar. So, Okocha for me, JJ was something special. He was doing the stuff that Ronaldinho and them man are just getting praised for. He was doing that them times, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, Nige had some good ballers. Kanu had some good ballers still.
Yeah, and being Nigerian, I mean, it's a culture which is very impactful around the world. How much has that played a part in you growing up and you know, living in England and your whole career in general?
For me, it's massive because I'll always say, and I think my brother said it best in the sense where I was born and raised in London, born and raised in England, but my household was always Nigerian.
Facts.
Always, you know, and still now I will never lose my heritage. You know what I'm saying? Like, my surname's Akinfenwa. You can't, you know what I'm saying? I'll never lose it. The culture, it's all I know. And for me, I raised my kids, my 5 kids are born and raised here, but they won't ever lose their heritage. And for me, it's powerful. You have to know where you've been for you to understand where you're going. And I just think that's massive. So listen, my mum didn't sugarcoat, you know what I'm saying? When we went to church, we was dressed up to the nines, we went to Nigerian parties, there was the supermote, the chin-chin, you know what I'm saying? It was that was what I was raised, you know what I'm saying? And still now, and I thank God we celebrated my dad's 70th birthday, and it's cultural, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we changed 8 times. I was like, Mum, I beg, let us enjoy the party. Like, every 20 minutes we change and taking pictures. I'm like, yo, but that's what we know. That's and I'm not saying anybody else, I can only tell from my upbringing, but that respect, it don't matter. Everybody's an auntie, everybody's an uncle. even if they're not. That respect level that was drummed into my head. And now you'll see my mum, and there's one thing we'll always do. Specs will know you have to kneel before every adult.
touch-
You
touch
got to touch
the
it.
ground.
Yeah, I
that
know.
one. Yeah.
And it don't matter. I'm 40, and I may not know the person, but if they're with my parents, I will kneel at their feet and I'll kneel. And that's what I know, and that's what I was raised. And it's always been that way throughout my career. You know, I was born in London, but I'm of Nigerian descent. And I keep saying you should never, ever forget, you know what I'm saying, where you've been, what you've been, who you are, and your heritage. So it'll always forever play a massive part in who I am.
Big question for me. As someone
Personal one.
of, let's say, Serbian descent,
Say
born in those times, you get the call up.
Say nothing.
You know the question's coming.
Say nothing. It's happened my whole career, but God.
I have to ask it.
Yeah.
Nigeria's on the phone, on the Samsung.
I think to say Serbia on the phone.
I'll say, hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie, I
And
could play
England's-
for Serbia somehow, but we may be related.
Nigeria on one phone, you got
Yeah.
England on the other phone. What's your heart and your head saying? What's the final decision?
Do you know what? And I can only be honest. It's a conversation to have, and it's where I would be in my career. So if you was to ask me right now, I would say Nigeria. That's just because I'm comfortable with who, what I am, and what I've learned as I've gotten older would be like, whenever I can make my pops proud, that's what I want to go and do. And it'll be his name, his country. I would want to go play for Nigeria and make him proud. A young 21-year-old Akinfenwa that's only watched the Premier League and wanted to be around the elite, you know what? I may want to go and play for England. And that's just the way up. So if you was to ask me this question a couple years ago, a while ago when I was just starting out, I'd say, nah, man, I want to play for England. Like, you know, but I think right now I would say, listen, I'm good, man. I'd play for Nigeria because my pops would salute me.
See, the next shirt I want to talk about now, because you've had this incredible career, is the haunted one. The Swansea shirt. You was at Swansea between 2005 and 2007, right?
That's correct, yep.
06 playoff final.
That's correct.
Swansea have got a chance of getting into the championship.
Yes.
And unluckily, you miss a penalty.
You know, first I'm going to say I told management not to talk about this. And you know, I'm playing with you. But yeah.
Listen, I've missed penalties, but I mean, like, I want to talk through that. Like,
Yeah.
so, what was going through your mind when you was going up to that penalty first?
You know, the maddest thing is, like, I only watched that penalty miss, and not because of this. We're doing a documentary which is coming out August, September. So that is in the documentary, and I had to talk about it. So had never watched a penalty miss again. And the funny thing is, not out of, there was no reason for me to watch it again. And I watched it again recently, so it's fresh in my mind. I was so confident stepping up to that penalty. It was the maddest thing. It was funny enough, is we got to equivalent, I think it's called the Johnson's Paint Trophy now. They've changed it so many times. But we won that 6 weeks earlier. And in that cup competition, we had penalty shootouts. And I was so nervous that time, but I scored. So I was like, oh. So when I went to the playoff, I can remember I was whistling to it. And it wasn't, this was things, it wasn't arrogance. I was just confident. I was like, all right, I've done this.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I got up to it, and it's crazy because I always do a stutter. So I get to the penalty, I stutter, and then I've always done that. And I remember them thinking, was that planned? Because I kid you not, the ball rolls over the bar. Anybody that knows me knows I can't really get trajectory on my ball. So when I take penalties, it's very low. And what I realised, the adrenaline that must have kicked in subconsciously literally made it rise. And when I saw it go over the bar, I kid you not, it was surreal. I've just missed. Because I was the first one to miss. Like, everybody had scored. I think I was the third penalty taker. And I just missed. I was like, oh. I remember turning around, I put my top over my mouth. I was like, oh, snap. So I walked back. The boys hugged me, and in my head, I'm still thinking, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was a lucky person. So in my head, I was thinking, Willie Garay was our keeper. He's gonna get me out of this. but he's going to get me out of this. So the next penalty, Leon Britton takes it for us, he scores. So I'm like, all right, get out. Hey, Willie, save me now. Gets nowhere near this penalty. So we take another one, we score. So I'm like, Willie, listen, brother. So I'm having this conversation in my head. He's nowhere near me.
He's standing by
He's
the
over
goal.
there. He's nowhere near me.
Telepathy.
This is the conversation I'm having
yeah.
in my head. I'm like, Willie, save me, brother. Hey, save me, please. They take another one. He gets nowhere near it. And I've gone on record saying this before. Then I started thinking, God, please don't let me be the only one to miss. So at this time, I'm 24, 25, and I'm like, oh, don't let me be the only one to miss. Oh, snap. It's going to fall on me.
So this is what you're thinking
What's going on? So for me, I can't hear anything. There's 70,000 at the Millennium Stadium or whatever it is, 60,000. I can't hear anybody but having a conversation in my own head. So I'm like, oh no, I messed up. Like, we didn't succeed for me. This is what's all going through my head. So I think Alan Tate, for me, was the last one, for Swansea to take the penalty. And he misses. And they run and we lose. And I thought I'd feel better because somebody else missed. Yeah. But literally, I was just like, I can't believe we didn't win this. And I remember I wasn't an emotional person, but our club captain at the time, Roberto Martinez, who's the manager of Belgium,
yeah.
He wasn't even playing. He was in his suit. He wasn't even in the squad. He's crying. And he's just come up to me and he's held me and he's gone, B, it just wasn't our time. That was what made me emotional because I was like, right, he wasn't even playing. It wasn't even on him. And he was just like, it wasn't our time. And that got me emotional. And I just remember thinking, oh, wow, I did this. And what's so bad about football, and I keep trying to tell people, 6 weeks earlier, the EFL trophy, we was in the final. Again, 60,000, we played Carlisle. I scored the winner. We won 2-1, lifted up the trophy, elation.
He's the hero.
It was the hero.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, 6 weeks on, or whatever the time is, was in the playoff final. And I literally just wanted to bury myself in it. I just wanted to shut. I was like, oh, I don't want to see nobody. And of course, I wouldn't say social media wasn't prevalent at this time. You know, and this is the crazy thing is social media wasn't prevalent in the sense where you know how it gets now. Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, I think I'm tough enough. I would have gone through it because it's mad because what you go through, that what stands out. So throughout my career, these are the bits that shape you. Because I remember 10 years later, no, even longer, maybe 10 years later, same thing happens. Playoff final, last minute penalty. And for me, I wanted to put these ghosts, I wanted to put that ghost, Wimbledon, Wembley, score, put it to bed. It was like, nah, you know what, but I can. When it comes down to it, I wanted to say, look, you know what, for myself, I was able to do it.
Resilience.
So yeah, I haven't put on that shirt ever since because I'll tell you, the next season I broke my leg. Yeah. And then I was out for a year, so I haven't put on that Swansea shirt, even though I'd always say
Where is it? Is it? So you haven't even got it at home?
No, it's at home.
Okay.
No. To be fair, I've got, I think I framed the black one. Like I frame all my shirts. And even though it's the haunted one, I always say, you're a product of your experiences. And that shaped me for the individual I am today. So as it was the haunted one in the sense of it didn't end the way I wanted to, Swansea was definitive for me in the sense of both football and as a person.
It's a lot of emotional, mental strength gained from that.
So talking about moments that made you, right? Going to Lithuania at 18 years old. Now that's something I wouldn't do at 30. Yeah. But you did it at 18.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, like the experiences there.
You know, the crazy thing is, right? It's funny you say that. I've got a son now. And I think if my son came to me and said, Dad, look, I've got an opportunity to play football abroad I don't know if I'd let him go, you know, and I, honestly, and the reason why, but it's crazy. I'm actually thankful that I went through it because I come back and say you're a product of your experiences. And I just remember I was so hell-bent on making it as a professional. And up until 18, I was just getting rejected here. I was just getting, nah, you're good, but you're a bit too big. You're okay, we don't know. And that's just all I was hearing. And I kept on saying, and I remember saying, like, how can I give these people who come into my life on a temporary basis, permanent status. So if I want to be a footballer and they say no, how can I allow them to say it and me quit football? So I was like, nah, and then the opportunity came to play in Lithuania. For me, it was everything I wanted to do. I wanted to get paid to play football, part of it. I wanted to be able to play football for a living. They played European football, so there was in the UEFA Cup at the time. So I went out there, and it's funny because we all know we've been kids. When you're young, you're fearless. You know what I'm saying? You think you're unbreakable. You know what I'm saying? And you're hell-bent and stubborn and sometimes tunnel vision. So I didn't contemplate that I didn't speak the language. I didn't contemplate that I didn't like the food. I didn't contemplate that I'd be the only black person there. None of this went through my head. All I heard was, I'm going to go and play football and they're going to pay me. I was like, oh, snap. I'm there. I'm in. And then I went out there and boy, was it an eye-opener. And when you're talking about dealing with mental strength, and of course, at the time, I didn't know this. I didn't know that I was have to go through it. But I found out very quickly I was the only black person in the league. I was one of a few black people in the whole city of Clypedo. And my first pre-season game with the team I played for, but when I mean 1,000 people were chanted, I'm trying to make it because I know you can't, but it was zigga, 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 let's kill the N-word.
You can just hear all this whilst you're playing.
Oh my days, it's literally started. It started with that, then it was a chant.
And in English as well, like Papa.
Zigga, zigga, zigga. Let's shoot. This was the threat. This was what was going around in my first game. I was like, what? I came off. So I played 45 minutes.
So was it home fans, away fans?
Both. So it started. So you'll know pre-season games. Let's say Arsenal play Hungerford or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they played at Hungerford. So when you play the pre-season game, it's not in the stadium. So all the fans are around the pitch. So we've got our fans here and their fans there. We've got people behind the goals. This is what it was. So it starts off. So the away fans start. Zigga, zig. Then so 500 of my own. So they're joining in. And I was like, wait, what the hell? I remember the second half I got through the first 45 and I went to my club captain at the time who spoke English. I was like, but what does zigga mean? He said, they just rhyme it with the other word. So when that second half, and they just carried on again, I was like, bun this, I'm coming off. And I came off and it was a roar like I scored. Came off. I was like, look, I'm coming out. So I remember, I get on the phone, I call my brother, and I goes to my brother, hey, bro, I'm coming home. This is my older one. And I remember he goes to me, he goes, look, bro, I won't tell you to stay anywhere that you don't want to stay, but if you leave, they win. And I won't lie to you, but those words didn't mean anything to me at the time. I was just like, I'm coming home. But I remember I slept and then called it defiant intervention or whatever. But the next day I just was like, nobody's kicking me out of anywhere. And so I learned very quickly. So anyway, we got to equivalent to the FA Cup final, which was the Lithuanian Cup. I scored the only goal. We won it. I scored goals. And what I learned very early...
Amazing.
What I learned very early at 18 was I was never going to allow anybody to define me. And it's crazy because we fast forward to when I'm playing over here now, and I'm getting chance if you're just a fat Eddie Murphy or your tits are offside. For me, I took to that with jokes and banter. And I was like, how you lot ain't gonna sway me with chants like that when, bruv, I heard what I heard at the age of 18. And then of course it was, I never set out to be different. I never set out to be 17 stones or push major weights or I never set out to be, I literally set out to be myself. And that's where I always say, be unapologetically who you are. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you go for your darkest moments, it is setting you up for where you're meant to be later on in life. And that's where we're talking about defining moments. Lithuanian was a real education for me.
The mental strength is just, Vuj is just...
You've been through a lot.
Incredible,
man. From very young as well.
Yeah. But listen, I believe everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody's got an autobiography. That's what I truly believe. Mine was just, I just knew I wanted to be a footballer and whatever path I had to take was the path I was going to take.
Because that's a very niche league to go to.
Yeah.
How did you even get to going to, like, who is messaging you?
You know the maddest thing is, this is what it is. Like, so I was on trial at Watford for like 8 or 9 months. And then I had met an agent who approached me because I used to play, while I was on trial at Watford, I used to also play for St Mary's, which I mentioned earlier. So St Mary's used to be in a men's league. So at this time, I'm 17. So he must have come down to watch St Mary's, and then he was like, yo, this boy's only 17. It's like, oh no, we got to sign this boy up. And he was married to a Lithuanian lady. So when I was playing, I think I played in either a game for Watford or a game for St Mary's, I can't really remember. But his wife's affiliate, who was affiliated to the Lithuanian league, come to watch the game. And then he was like, he's a good player. And then he said, oh, he's only 17 at this time. So it's like, oh, you know what? We want to get him out there for a trial. Now I was kind of wishing that his wife would have been American, and maybe an American person would have come down, but it just happened to be Lithuanian.
To the MLS,
you know what I'm saying? And MLS early days and that. But yeah, so that's how it came about. So he came down and asked me for a trial. I went out there for, I think, 3 or 4 days. After day one, they'd put a 3-year contract in front of me. But in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to sign 1 year and then come back. But at the time, I signed a contract which signed 3 years straight out. So I was there for 2 years. And then I remember I was able to get out my contract for the last year. And then that's what started my journey into trying to make it in the EFL.
And when you scored that goal in the final, it felt good?
Redemption,
it felt like...
You know what? It was... Listen, I'll always say football, when I played football anyway, it was my escape. So it was like I was out there and I played football, but it was the first time I realised I wanted something. You know how they do it now, but we walked out in the final and the trophy was on the beginning, like right at the entrance of the pitch. Yeah. So I remember and the trophy was massive. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, no, man, I want this. Like, it was just all of that before that. I was going through the cup, you don't see it. I looked at it, I was like, oh no, I want this. So I went out and I scored, and I literally, when everybody ran on the pitch, but I'm going to tell this story because I haven't even told this story. Y'all are going to get this exclusive. So I scored the final, right? I scored in the final. We've won. All the fans have run on the pitch. So I am now jumping up, excited, raw. So now I'm in the middle of the pitch. So picture this, all the fans are around me.
And some of these probably were racially abusing you.
So they now got their tops off. So I am now just dancing, rah, Then I realise I'm in the middle of, and it's not like they're circling me per se, but they've got swastika tattoos, tattooed on their chest. So I'd gone from being in elation to thinking, you know what, I could actually get plucked and just drop and nobody know. So I went from being happy to apprehensive. It was the first time, it was literally, so there's a picture going around as well because all the ultras, they took pictures with the team, with the boss, and I was like, nobody started. So now I've gone from being just enjoying the moment to being on edge. So I'm like, yeah. So we're taking a picture, and you remember the Ashley Cole picture where he's on the outskirts and the whole team? That's me, because I'm like, I'm not allowing nobody to stand behind me. So they're taking pictures of me. So I'm on the outskirts, taking pictures, not looking at them, but looking at the camera, just knowing. So it was wicked for me because it's the first time I've done something of magnitude. But how quickly my mindset changed. But nothing happened. It was cool. And it was the first time I realised success or celebrity status, should I say. We went back to Clypedo. They opened up an Adidas store. I had big scissors. I cut it. Then we met the mayor of Clypedo. I didn't pay in restaurants. I didn't pay at cinema. So it was the first time. And what it realised, and I'm coming back to this, it made me realise that ignorance is bliss. And they was just afraid of what they didn't know. Because the city of Clypedo took me. After that, bruv, I was like, yeah, I was the man. I'd go in and I'd be like, yeah, no pay. I'll say nothing, whatever. Cinema, no, but, yo, man, cool.
Hero.
And I'd learned, and I'd learned, like, you know what, but be you. Like, just, your source is the most powerful, you know what I'm saying? Your unique selling point is what you've got, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can do your be you better than you. So I learned that from that time. But, yeah, man, I wouldn't give it to I wouldn't do it again, but I'm actually kind of glad that I went through it.
We go on to the swapped one.
And I was
That
actually
famous Liverpool shirt.
I was at this game. I was there watching it. It was AFC Wimbledon, Ade's team against Liverpool, the team that he supported.
FA Cup. Yeah, it was mad. You know how sometimes, you know, they'll talk about, you'll know, like footballing gods and, you know, stuff like that. And I'll always say, if you can't play for the team you support, the next best thing is to line up against them, just to feel that. And I remember standing up and in the tunnel, and I was like, right, these boys are pretty big. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was Skirtle. Hendo was bigger than what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sacco was there. Coutinho was there. And Stevie G. Like, Stevie G, like, is a monster of an individual. Like, and I don't think you really clock that from the TV. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like, after the first 20, and I remember that I said this to the boys. I said, yo, look, first 20 minutes, we got to go aggressive. And I just remember, I think in the first 20 minutes, I must have given away 72 fouls. I remember just running straight at Skirtle's chest. Like, I was like, nah, man. Like they got to know.
Spear.
Yeah, I was like, they got to know who they're playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think like the first 20 minutes, we gave them too much respect in the sense of, oh, they're Liverpool. And we just allowed them to dictate the game. We ran back to the halfway line and was just breaking up the game. I remember just giving, and then it just looked like, I've said this, they asked me who's the best player I've played against, and it's Stevie G. And not just because he's my idol, it's literally because I feel like 20 minutes in, I swear, this is what I'm saying, it looked like this. He was like, oh, I'm bored now, man. All right, look, let me go score. So he picked up on the halfway line, put it out to the right winger, ran into the box, they crossed it, he headed it. So yeah, that's what it felt like. He just felt like, yeah, all right, cool.
Let me get the pad.
Like, yeah. You know there was, he was like, nah, these man, like, wait, he scored yet? All right, let me go do that. And he done that. And I keep saying this, right? So anyway, it was the only time when I scored a goal and for the first second or two, I didn't know what to do. I remember I scored. In my head, I was like, oh, snap.
You scored in this game?
Yeah. The big man scored.
Equalised, no?
It was a bad boy goal, yeah, like took on 9 players, you know what I'm saying? Keeper came out, flicked it over his head. Yeah, just don't go look here on YouTube. Just believe what I said. No, I don't care. It was a tapping. I don't care. It was dope.
Did someone square it and you tapped it? Or did
Nah, come off the bar.
Yeah, that's it. It came off the bar and
so
you were
corner
there.
coming, and I remember, like, Mignolet, they said Mignolet don't like.
I think I remember this. Was it on BBC One?
Yeah,
I remember this, yes.
It was on BBC. It was like the first.
Was it a nighttime game or daytime?
Yeah, nighttime.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the first. Yes. It was the first game in the FA Cup that BBC One done, and I think they replaced EastEnders, so it got a lot. And I remember after the game, it was the weirdest thing. Tuesday night, I got a phone call that they wanted me to come on the news in the morning because they had got 40,000 tweets while the game was going on and Akinfenwa was trending. And like London, you're a London brother, when you go on the news, you're like, oh, I watched the news.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a big deal, yeah.
So I went on the news. I was like, wait, what do you want me to come on the news for? We lost. Like, what do you want me to talk about? But I went on the news and they were just talking about the game and it was just, it was an amazing experience. And like the Liverpool fans took to me. And I remember, I always say it was the only time I wanted Liverpool to lose, that game. It's the only time we wanted to beat them. 90 minutes, they were my enemies. And when I say Stevie G was the best player I played against, I kid you not, they got a free kick. And strikers, you'll know now because you're a striker, you have to come back and go in the wall. So I'm the last one to get back to go in the wall. And as I walk past Stevie G, he goes to me, I kid you not, he's putting the ball down. Sorry, big man. So he said, so I'm looking at him like, well, whatever. Bends it over, the wall. See, second goal of the game. They beat us 2-1. I don't get a chance to go back to Anfield because I was hoping we'll draw them and go back to Anfield. And I was like, oh, we're 1-1. We're doing this. Why? He just said, sorry, big man. He said, sorry, big man.
Is this because you told the players before the game? And is this true that you said, no one asked for Gerrard's shirt because it's mine?
Told them, listen, I loved my team and every teammate I loved, but I threatened them. I won't even sugarcoat any of that. I was like, if any of you ask for Stevie G's shirt, it's going to be a problem. Because I played with Joe Allen at Swansea, who was at Liverpool at the time. So I patterned it prior. So as soon as we got Gerrard, hey, Joe, what's going on? I know we ain't chatting a while.
The middleman.
But you know you're my guy in that. Tell Stevie, the big man wants his shirt. So to be fair, he texted back and said, look, Stevie said he's got you. So I was like, all right. So I told the boys, I was like, listen, look, it will be a straight misunderstanding if you not take his shirt. So he was a man of the word. He's man of his word. We embraced afterwards.
Was that on? Was the shirt swap on TV or behind the
He
backstage?
gave me. It was behind closed doors. We talked afterwards, and then afterwards, I came out and I showed. So yeah, he gave it to me.
Amazing.
A beautiful full circle moment. You as a Liverpool fan,
Yeah.
getting to play Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting a Stevie G shirt.
Yeah,
as well.
man. Like that was the first time I met Stevie G, and the relationship between Liverpool and myself has stayed strong. And there's moments which I get goosebumps talking about. I feel humbled, and I think sometimes it's mind-boggling. Stevie G forwarded my book, and Stevie G don't really do that. And in the sense where that was our first meeting at that game, and then when I dropped my autobiography, he's the one who, forwarded it by Stevie G. He put a paragraph at the beginning of my book, and he wanted to write it. Sometimes individuals get their publicists to write it, or he wrote it personally. He's like, nah, man, I want to write this for the big man. And for me, people don't realise how big that is. And then one of the greatest moments of my career was when we got promoted to the champ, and then Klopp sends me a personal message. So these are stuff for me which, they're synonymous in my heart, and they play a major part in my career. So, listen, I know I'm blessed, and I know I'm humbled whenever I talk about it.
I think there's something about, what resonates with me here is like your energy of authenticity and also pure heartedness.
Yeah, say that.
And I think what I feel is like, even, your conviction to want to play pro.
Yeah.
That if you love football, you love the game, play the game.
Yeah.
And how many experiences you've had, maybe you didn't reach Prem levels and World Cups, etc. But how rich your life has been just through pursuing your love and not letting things when you're down take you down. I think that's
you know what's
a
the most
beautiful
powerful
thing.
things which I say for that? I'm like, but I don't care what level you play at, and in any walks of life, when there's something that you want to do and you can transpire it from your mind to actual physical, well, you've succeeded. There's all different levels of the definition of success, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I played my whole career, the majority of my career in the lower leagues. But every Saturday, that was my Wembley. And that's how you got to see it. You can't live your life through other folks. I would have loved to have been like Henri level and X, Y, and Z. But don't get the game twisted. When I played at Accrington Stanley on a Saturday or on a Tuesday night, that was my Wembley. So don't allow anybody to dictate what it is for you. Your level of success, and anybody, and I believe everybody, has got that definition of beast mode mentality. And when you can be the best you can be, that's the definition of beast mode. So for me, any person out there, whatever level it is, if it's football, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I put in as many hours as I can, and I wanted to achieve what I wanted to achieve, and you got to that level, and whatever level it was, that's got to be your Wembley. So take it like that. So for me, I made it as a footballer. It's my proudest moment, the day I made it as a footballer.
You're still up there with the big names, because if you go to my little cousin's house and you go in his FIFA, as well as he uses Ronaldo and all that, Akinfenwa's there with 101 power.
I say nothing, cuz. Listen, look, this is what I keep saying, innit? Like,
Strongest man on FIFA.
yes. I did say that I was going to retire that. That was my mantra, you know what I'm saying? And I'm able to do that. But no, listen, I always say when you get acknowledged for something that you like, I like the gym. And I got acknowledged for that for 10 years. Strongest person in the game, strongest footballer in the world, probably universe. If Thanos wanted to play us in a game, I'd be stronger than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world's heroes, I'd be one of them. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? For that, to get acknowledged for something that I check for, like, it's powerful for me. And I'm comfortable in that. I'm comfortable in. I think sometimes people can focus on what you're not so good at or what you didn't achieve. And I think, and the hell with that, you know what I'm saying? And like, try and live your life, not to prove others wrong, but to prove yourself right. And that's what I was able to do. So I'm blessed with it.
Vuj, everyone that's watching, I'm sure now, super motivated.
Yeah.
This was
it's
I'm
inspirational.
motivated now.
Yeah, for me too.
Say no.
Like, you know what I mean?
Usually I'm very chilled.
Yeah.
I feel like we're similar.
Of course.
We get distracted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'll go down a rabbit hole of YouTube, start watching like dogs in the Atlantic or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really trying to do much. you know what Specs does?
Go on.
He says he's been to Japan. I'm like, oh, when did you go? And he's like, no, I watch people drive through Japan.
Around Tokyo.
POV.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been there.
So if you type, yeah. So the other day, for example, Burnley, I'm managing Burnley on Foot Manager right now.
Okay.
So I thought, I want to go there, but it's too far.
All right.
So I typed in drive-through Burnley town. So it's on YouTube. It's only got about 5K views.
I say that.
Someone's driving around the town of Burnley.
Full screen?
So in my imagination, I'm there.
Yeah?
That's how I travel.
So you travel through the eyes of others.
Because why is someone driving around these why are they recording driving around the area?
Do they pull off? Do they pull over at any
There's no
time?
pullover, they just drive.
Just
they stop.
drive.
They stop at traffic lights.
Do they
still,
do that?
Yep, they still.
All right, that's cool.
But they just drive. There's no music, just indicators going off.
You know what? I'm gonna try that. I'm literally.
The American ones are better. The American ones are in 4K.
In 4K.
Driving around Vegas, Miami.
Been there. Not trying to drop bombs
Is it?
and that. I've been there. Sorry, you know.
I can't get in there.
Yeah, no,
They won't let me in,
They
Bob.
won't let you in.
One day.
But you've been there, like, metaphysically, through your
Yeah, of course.
imagination.
We've been there through
imagination.
there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
of course.
Technically,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
It's been a very, very inspirational, chat, man.
That's what shirts do. That's what retro shirts do.
That's what it
it,
does.
Take you back.
That's what it
That's what
does.
the show's about.
That's dope, man.
Life,
Nostalgia.
full
Powerful.
shirts, man. Adi, man, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Aye,
both, man.
blessings. Thank you for having me, man. I'm around legends. Thank you.
Yeah, we're around legends as well.
Of course.
We're too kind.
bigger
We're too
legend.
kind. Blessings.
What do we do now? Do we just like body pop? Like,
Oh yeah, we got body up.
I
We
don't
got
know.
body pop out.
Do we body pop out? Or do we do the candy?
Oh wow.
Oh.
Is that what we do?
Oh,
Do we
that
stand?
what it- ooh.
Wait, do we stand and body pop out?
should we? All right,
You
come
wanna?
on. Let's go.
Come on, man.
All right, well, thanks for coming in today,
Aye.
Bio, man.
Aye, blessings.
Absolute.
Oh, you did that.
Wait.
Is that what we doing? That?
Thanks for coming in,
buddy.
Bio. And big up to our guys at Classic Football Shirts for providing us with the kits today.
This has been stripped, brought to you by William Hill.
18 plus, please remember to gamble responsibly.